Morning. Part 2 then. Total washout last weekend, storm Arwen, and then it started snowing, and I was like, no, this is just impossible. When you can't feel your one good hand, that's when it's a cue to stop. Anyway, following weekend now, nice and fresh, much more pleasant, and we're into it, so I'm straight into it now. So I built the other section in the workshop, just brought that out. Now what I have done, which is different to the first part, is I just put the flags in the corners, because on this side they go onto the actual pedestals, so they double up together in the middle. And I've kind of compacted down the shaly type stuff instead of completely scooping it out. Now I am going to have to keep an eye on that just to see if there's any movements and see if that side actually drops a little bit, but I'm willing to take that risk, and it's a bit of an experiment against the hard side. On this side I'm going to fill it in where the little flagstones are going to go and put some shale in just to compact them all up nice and tight there. So it's just a case now of getting the pedestals in the middle bit, get them tightened up. Might have to put some bit of flag or something underneath there, get the noggins on, and then I'll talk to you about all the great advice I got from you guys about the Kedowin stuff that's going on, which is not decking, but it's going to become decking. All right, best crack on while the weather's nice. Okay, so that's the base done, noggins done. I've put a little bit of the shale and stuff in there just around the stones just to keep it all nice and tight. Not overfilled it obviously because you still want the air flowing underneath. And a big thank you for the comment last week about making sure it's not completely level. It's just got a slight runoff to hopefully aid water runoff, not resting flat on the decking. Oh, and talking of decking, yes, great stuff in the comments again. Thank you again. The overlaps are gonna go. I'm gonna cut them off on the table saw, and we're gonna have about a 3mm gap in between each board then, again to encourage runoff. Now these don't have any grooves on them. I might run some through with the track saw because people are talking about where it joins onto the wood. Now I did describe this as a leftovers project, And this is either going to be totally inspired or completely stupid, but I'm willing to give it a go. I have got some of this left over, which is kind of like a DPC stuff from the workshop build, from where I put the actual modules onto the base. I think I'm going to run some of this along the lengths of the joists and just pin it on with my nail gun and then put the decks over that. Now obviously moisture's still got to get in and under, but when it runs off from the deck, it's not running directly onto the wood, it's going to run onto this and then run off into the gaps. So it's worth trying. If it doesn't work out, I can always take the decking off, remove this, and then put it back on a different way. But I'm going to give it a go. It's worth an experiment, isn't it? You know, if I make a mess of it, at least you lot will know in the future. All right, so a cup of tea and a sandwich first, I think. Right, all the overlaps are now trimmed off, so I've just got literally straight panels now. I do love my Evolution miter saw, but the dust collection on it is shocking. But you get what you pay for, I suppose, on that one. Anyway, so the next stage is I'm going to do little round overs on the panels, so it's nice and rounded edges. And I'm actually going to route 2 grooves on the underside of each panel for runoff like you'd have on a deck, which gives me a chance to put to good use my brand new trend T18S battery brushless 1/4" router. Oh, this is nice. The difference between, I have a Rutland's one, which has always been fine, worked fine for me, but I know you don't buy a router because of the less noise it makes, but oh, hang on, there we go. Is so much quieter. Yeah, looking forward to using this, putting it through its paces, see what it's like. I've got to do this outside though, because I've got so much on the go in here, and the weather's gone mental again. So I'm going to let it die down a little bit first, and then get myself set up on a little portable bench thing outside and get this sorted out. So cup of tea. Well, finally managed to get it done. Don't know how my mind works sometimes. It's December. Let's build an outside deck. 2 storms later, 3 weekends later, finally finished, but very happy with it, to be honest. The DPC stuff is staying on. It's going to be an experiment. The maker folk on Instagram were pretty much divided about whether it's a good or a bad idea. There was one comment on there, actually, a guy who runs a company who builds decks and stuff. He said, and that's what they do now. You can get some sticky back DPC stuff, and he said they put that down in order to help preserve the joist. So that was quite interesting coming from the trade. But it's an experiment. Let's see how it gets on. I'll have a check back in a year or so, see what the wood's looking like. Pretty much it, I think, really. A couple of that's just a reminder. The StrataRise people. They are brilliant, these. I think in retrospect, when I ordered a few more, having not had enough from the workshop project, I probably would have gone for some of they do some that are like self-leveling and some different heights as well, because I wasn't aware at the time how much there was a dip in it, but managed to get through with the ones I had. Worked okay. And don't forget, I'll put it up above us now. You can get 10% discount off these with using the code Leo-10 at www.quantumrubber.com if you're interested in any of these. And also a big thank you to the folk at Trend. If you're new to the channel, I've been in a collaboration with Trend for nearly a year now, and I'm not sponsored by them. They send me stuff for the purposes of review, and they've sent me some of the new stuff, the T18 cordless stuff. I really enjoyed using this. One thing I was a little bit worried about when I got started on the Kedowin was it was kind of scratching a little bit on my lovely new plate, but I just used a little bit of this stuff, the lubricating wax, and soon I put that on, buffed it off. It was superb going along. Coped really well on those Kedowin boards, really well, because that's properly dense hardwood, that. Great, love the drill driver, the impact driver. I've used the sight light as well. So thanks to the folk at Trend. I thought it's better for you guys to see them actually in action, as opposed to this is me doing a review, drilling a hole, to see, if you're thinking of building a deck or something, you want to see these things being used, don't you? So that's my approach anyway. I might do some kind of bespoke review in the new year, but something to think about in the future. That's it for this one, folks. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me over the 2-parter. As ever, take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much.